Orange Cassidy did a really rare, really fun interview with Branden Walker over at Rasslin. Rasslin, that's Rasslin for the Barstool Network. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here too, I think. But fucking awesome interview he did with Orange Cassidy this week. For my money, probably the best Orange Cassidy interview I've ever seen. I know that's setting a pretty low bar because Orange Cassidy really hardly even participates in interviews. And that's part of what made this good, is this was an interactive interview and it was long form. And it was still very Orange Cassidy-esque, and I think that's what made it fucking amazing. And that's why Branden Walker with Rasslin was the perfect person to do this with. Lots of great clips and highlights from this one. Here's one that I thought was particularly fun, and then we'll get to kind of the other story that we have from this clip.
It's actually the unpredictability of it that we don't know what's going to happen, which is, I think that's what you can expect. Is like, I really don't know what's going to happen.
So when you say you've got things that you've never shown and you want to keep a secret, can you tell us what all of those are right now?
Nah, because I want to keep them a secret.
That's disappointing. But that, I mean, I understand, because it really can't be a secret if you tell people.
No, it can't. That's
Secrets are weird because they can exist and then they don't exist. But they really don't exist because they're only ideas, really.
All right, well, let's get weird about this. If I tell you a secret,
yes,
and you keep it a secret, is it still a secret, or is it something I've told you now, but now it's your secret?
I believe it's my secret.
Okay.
It lives in me now.
It's not my secret anymore.
You have passed it on to me,
right,
and it now lives in me. I can tell him and say, "Don't tell anybody," and now it's his secret. But really, it's not a secret anymore.
Right.
Once 3 people know.
So I'd be like, so I could say like, well, I told Trent something, and now it's his secret.
Yes.
So I can't say I can't say I told Trent my secret.
Well, was it a secret before Trent knew?
That's what I'm saying. It's my secret. I have a secret,
right?
But then I tell Trent. So then
you did tell Trent your secret, but now it's his secret.
Correct.
Or at least
about
he shares
me.
Ownership of the secret.
Well, it's a secret about me. It's not my secret anymore because it's not secret.
Give me one secret about you. I'll give you one secret about me. I made out with a horse once.
What? How did you do that?
Almost the whole interview was that kind of banter back and forth. They were just kind of playing with each other, having fun, riffing off of each other. They sat and ate fucking pudding. Branden Walker asked him, have you ever had banana pudding? Orange Cassidy's like, no, I've never had a banana pudding. Brandon's like, I got some in the fucking fridge right now. They come out with a pan of like homemade. Orange is like, is it in the cup? You get the cup of pudding. And Brandon's like, no, you get the homemade, like the pan. And it had the vanilla wafers on top of it. And Orange tried it and fucking loved it. This was the interview. This is the conversation. Somebody was flushing the toilet upstairs above them. Lots of great content just like that. But no, it was fun. Ask just weird questions of each other and stuff. And really kind of just, I don't know, it was a fun in character but not in character interview with Orange. Orange kind of said in this interview that this is how he is as a real, he was let to be how he is. Now, obviously he's playing a bit of a character, but I kind of get the feeling that there's a lot of Orange Cassidy in the man behind Orange Cassidy, as this was like hanging out with the homies or something, This is what it would be like hanging out with Orange when he's not wrestling. But we did get another clip where Orange kind of opened up about the Young Bucks specifically. He was asked about the Young Bucks re-signing and their significance to AEW. And Orange Cassidy really opened up and talked about how the Young Bucks without the Young Bucks, there wouldn't be an Orange Cassidy. Check out this clip.
But the Young Bucks and the Elite re-signed with AEW, and I don't think that's a small deal.
No.
What is that? What are the wrestlers' perspectives on that?
This company wouldn't exist without them, and it's very clear. It's very apparent. I don't think if you don't think that, then you don't know what AEW is, and that's fine. But they are the heart. They are the soul. They are everything that AEW represents. Without those guys, I wouldn't be sitting here with you while toilets are being flushed over my head and the pipes run down.
Imagine missing that.
And I am forever grateful to those people, and they allow us to do what we want to do, right? Because they were, like I said about when I was talking about this thing, they allowed me to be me. I could be me, and I could thrive in an environment where you could just be yourself, and you have to listen to what everybody else says. And them re-signing is a huge deal because I don't know. I kind of want to wrestle them.
You should. I think it would be awesome.
Some point.
I'm actually a really big Orange Cassidy fan. I like the Orange Cassidy. A lot of people don't. You're Jim Cornette fans, that kind of thing. I never mind a little bit of clown shoes in my wrestling. I don't need everybody to be so serious. I'm not one to believe that wrestling needs to be believable. I think that went out the window with the UFC. I've talked about this on my show before, but for those of you who have not heard those clips, in a nutshell, pro wrestling, anybody that like the Jim Cornettes that try to hold on to, it's fake, phony bullshit. It makes wrestling look fake. All that's out the window. Wrestling's entertainment. Everybody knows it's entertainment. It's all a fucking performance art show at this point. It's physical contact, and nobody goes to a wrestling show. There's probably not one human being on planet Earth at this point over the age of 12 years old that believes pro wrestling is real. So get off of it. So a guy that goes out there and does the soft little, little shin kicks and stuff, and it's fun because they're telling the story that this guy can wrestle, but he fucks with your head. He's a mind fucker, right? Like, he'll piss you off and he'll irritate you and he'll frustrate you and he'll get you off of your game plan and he'll lure you into his traps, or he'll lull you into thinking he's a clown and he's doing silly shit. You get pissed off and you get all angry, so I'm just gonna punch this guy, and you swing wildly for him. That gives him an opportunity to duck you, fling off the ropes, and fucking hit you with the flying hand in the pocket. You know what I mean? So I like it. I think it's fine. I think he's an entertaining character. I get how a lot of people don't get it. I think you should by now. I think at first, I think that's everybody's kind of story. I don't get this guy. And I think after you watch him a little bit, you kind of start to learn okay, I see it. That's pretty smart. That's genius, actually. And the fact that they're letting him talk more now, and they're letting him wrestle more wrestly, and he's building a reputation of defending that title over and over. And now he's going out and he's doing these long-form interview podcasts. I hope this is, I haven't seen him do too many. I'm sure he's done others, but very rare. His interviews are typically very lazy, and do I have to be here? And I guess. I don't know. Sure. Whatever. This was fun. They were having, philosophical questions and shit, It's just good times. I highly recommend seeking this out, both for Orange Cassidy and to me, it's character development. Hearing somebody sit and talk for an hour in character is a way for them to grow as a character. Every opportunity that they get to think and talk and act in character for an hour plus. There's nothing bad that can come from that. It's only going to help their performance in the ring, on TV. Branden Walker is the perfect guy to do those interviews. He's a funny guy himself. He's hard to explain. He's got a very dry sense of humor, but his shows are always great. They always are. They come off as a little bit of a train wreck, but they're just so fun. He's tied down. He must be under contract to Barstool Sports because he had a weekly podcast, Rasslin, and he was great. And he did a lot of interviews and a lot of other shit too. He was getting them from WWE too, not just AEW. And then all of a sudden it stopped. And Branden basically said that Barstool just doesn't have them in the budget for it anymore. So they get to do them basically before pay-per-views to help promote the pay-per-views. And that's it. And they're lucky if they get those. And Branden Walker deserves better than that. He's better connected. He had a great interview with fucking Charlotte Flair. I highly recommend. I covered it, but it humanized Charlotte so much. It made me look at Charlotte in a different way. Made me like Charlotte Flair. Because you buy into, you don't see a lot of her out of character. And even when you do, like, she still kind of comes off as Queenie a little bit. You know what I mean? But she's like laughing at Branden and joking around with him. And just, you see that, like, just the cool chick in her. And not so much the Charlotte Flair in her. So it was very fun. And he's able to bring that out of everybody. I think he must be like, and I go in the comments. And if you read the comments on these interviews that he does, especially this one with Orange, they're all positive. Love this interview. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But you see people all, man, I wish this show was more consistent. And it really sucks. And I think Branden has to be under contract to Barstool because he's connected enough and talented enough to just be on his own. He does not need to settle with the once a pay-per-view fucking every month or every couple of months interview or two that he gets to do on Barstool under the Rasslin title. He should be able to leave and start his own show. Interview his own, set up all his own shit. I'll help you. Branden, if you're listening, if this clip gets up, man, I'll do your thumbnails for you. I'll edit your shit. I'll help you. Let's do it, brother. You don't need Barstool Sports. You're too good. You're way too good. So fantastic interview. I've linked it down in the description below. Please go out of your way to check it out, especially if you're an Orange Cassidy fan. I think it's a do not miss. If you're a fan of Branden Walker's work, I think it's a do not miss. If you haven't seen any of it, but I have sold you on it, and now you're curious, I highly recommend you check it out. And for those of you that still think Orange Cassidy's a joke and makes a mockery of professional wrestling, look, I know I have a huge crossover audience with Jim Cornette. I know for a fact. I have the analytics. See, a lot of you watch Jim Cornette's podcast. I love it too. He's the man. But I think he's out of touch here with the fake, phony pro wrestling. Like, look, I'll always say your main event storyline needs to be taken seriously. All your real stories need to be realistic story. You have to buy into your world title match, right? Jimmy and Jay with the bloodline, all that shit, Roman Reigns, you can't put phony, fake crap in there. But you can have fucking Danhausen in the buffer segment between that main event serious segment and some other serious angle where somebody got jumped backstage or something like. You know what I mean? Wrestling needs that shit. It's the let me up moment. If everything's too serious, nobody walks away from people want to be entertained. They like the roller coaster. They want to be taken away from reality a little bit. And I think having some of that comedy in there, Otis with the shoosh and the being big old and tubby and the bros and the with the fucking Matt Riddle and just everything, man. It all helps add into professional wrestling, what wrestling is, should be, can be. It needs to be that buffet. It needs to be that variety show. Not just so it appeals to everybody even, but for the format of the show. What's your let me up moment from a serious angle? Another serious angle? Because we don't want to be fake and phony. No, give the crowd a giggle. Have somebody go out and do something silly. You know what I mean? Why not? But that's just my opinion. I'm just one guy with a microphone in his basement. So, take it for what you will. Maybe you like everything serious as a heart attack, and that's fine too. As long as your main events are. As long as the main event is taken seriously, the world title's taken seriously, and all the other shit, a lot of the other shit on the shows are taken seriously. You got a banger opening match that feels like a fucking hard-fought contest. You got the grudge match in the cage. You want to feel like those guys hate each other. You know what I mean? That's not the place for that kind of bullshit. But everything in between it, segments, interviews, sure. Be goofy. Have fun. Do silly shit. Why not? And Orange Cassidy, I think also him transitioning into a hell of a fucking worker. He always was. But now that he's being allowed to show more, he's evolving as a character. And I think I'm all for it. I'm here for it. He's doing great. And I'm a big fan of Orange Cassidy. And he is a star. He's a mega star, to be honest with you. I don't think he's reached his full potential. He's an older guy. So I don't know how much longer of a career he has. But he's definitely a guy that could be a household name someday. I don't think he's, I just don't hate him like a lot of you guys do. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Interact with me. Holla. Tell me I'm dumb. And my opinion sucks. And that Orange Cassidy is a joke. And it's fake, phony wrestling bullshit. Or if you happen to agree, or if you have a different take, let me know down in the comments below. With all that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.